We discussed on the morning broadcast Donald Trump Jr.'s appearance on CNBC, but I missed the best moment, which was Joe Kernan being a funny guy and sort of mocking Donald Trump Jr.'s election lies and Donald Trump Jr.'s daddy's election lies by referencing it, and then everyone busts out laughing. And I think Don Jr. is sort of like, yeah, totally. No, but we're laughing at you, Don, because you believe the lies. So let's play this, and then we have a lot to go through.
President Trump could not have been elected in 2016 if you didn't have the people feel that backlash. And he certainly couldn't have made a comeback if President Biden had addressed those issues.
Well, and reelected in 2020.
Yeah, well, I always think sometimes you have to hit rock bottom, and I think it took...
That was for him.
That was for him.
He's talking about...
I'm sorry. I take that back.
It took 4 years of Biden.
I take that was totally for you. Yeah, I take it back.
But I think it did take the 4 years of Biden for America to realize how fragile some of these things are. You went from a time of prosperity to a time of poverty. You went from a time of peace to a time of war. These things happened when America wasn't leading with strength.
Right.
You know, it takes a little bit of that for us to understand just how fragile we were. I think that brought back Trump. And you see, again, the same old news cycle starting, when the S&P dipped a little bit. Oh, my God, it's the Trump recession.
Oh, my God, you sound just like your dad.
Well,
oh, my God, it's the Trump. Yeah, and then Trump backed off of a bunch of his policies because of that. So clearly he thought it was bad too, Donnie. Now, before we get into more, sometimes I forget how cartoonishly wacky Donald Trump Jr. is, especially amid this reporting that he's kind of wanting to run for president. So producer Cole put together a little something to remind you of Donald Trump Jr.'s personality. He's so zany.
I know. Luckily, I don't snort all cocaine. Joe Biden is the guy they're going to call.
Kimberly for press secretary. Perfect. You know what? That'd be great. You can do like 6 days a week in Washington, D.C. I get peace and quiet. Everyone wins. Don't tell her I said that. That would be trouble.
Imagine if it was Don Jr. smoking crack with prostitutes. Here we go. Well, oh boy.
Now, the cartoonishness of him or of Trump, I've said this a lot, it can't distract us from how dangerous some of the underlying things they're doing to politics are. And one of those is we're becoming so numb to just lies. And like a great example we talked about over the last couple of days is the thing Trump posted about Biden being a robot. And you just kind of move on, whatever. But then also how casually what you saw in the first clip, the election lies, is kind of a joke now. Oh yeah, you remember? Oh my gosh. You remember this pandemic era was so funky, huh? Your dad lied about the election and then literally tried to steal the election and put together false electors, trying to get those counted. Mike Pence, all the MAGA people turned against Pence, stormed the Capitol, tried to kill Pence, said, hang my pens. Trump didn't want to stop it. Oh, man, what a time. Back when I had a few less wrinkles on my face, it's just crazy the last few years. And then America made him a president again. It's just cute and it's fun and it's different. That attitude is actually way more destructive than I think most of us acknowledge, that now it's just a part of culture that, Trump, but not half, but maybe 40% of the country thinks that elections are only legitimate if Trump's the winner. And that's just the thing now. And Trump just says lies constantly and it's just totally normal. And the media infrastructure that's been built around that, making sure that can even work, is so ingrained now in our culture and in the media ecosystem that Trump can be long gone and you're still going to have that detachment from a shared truth. And that really scares me. Speaking of the big lie, though, about the election, you do have Mike Lindell going to trial for his defamation.
Today, it is Mike Lindell's turn. The former Dominion executive Eric Coomer filed a defamation suit against Lindell back in 2022. So Coomer's been waiting for justice for a number of years as well. Coomer was right here on CNN in December of 2020 describing how he had to go into hiding because of all the death threats he was receiving as a result of the conspiracy theories that somehow Dominion had rigged the 2020 election against Donald Trump. Those lies according to Coomer, really hurt and destroyed his life. Here's a part of what he wrote actually in an op-ed back then. He said, "It is unconscionable that certain fringe media personalities looking to increase their personal notoriety, gain website traffic, or ad revenue would continue to prey on the fears of a public concerned about safety of the electoral system." So this is Coomer's day in court. Opening statements start today. Then he takes the stand this afternoon. Lindell, meanwhile, Lindell's trying to make a media circus out of this, Sarah, and that's the other interesting thing about this.
The pillow guy. That's all it's going to be. You remember that pillow guy who screamed about something about the election? And this era, I really hope, I think, we'll see, but I really hope that history is written as things were and not how MAGA wants to rewrite it. But this era, you're going to have just 12 years and even more of Trump being American politics, essentially. Even through the Biden years, his presence was identifying this moment in many ways. And I'm terrified that we won't remember just how destructive that attack on democracy was. One other interesting thing, I referenced this thing most people just kind of quickly moved on from, Trump posting a crazy conspiracy theory about Biden. We're just tired. We're tired of caring. And so people have stopped caring about some of the absurdities. But you have Lawrence O'Donnell on MSNBC going viral for this clip.
Needless to say, Donald Trump is the only president in history who can publicly embrace and accept and believe such insanity without immediately provoking a rush of questions by the White House press corps and news organizations around the world about the sanity of the American president, which means that the insanity of the current American president is now officially taken for granted in the news media. No huge banners on the cable news network that recently devoted itself to the issue of presidential mental acuity. That network did not dare devote itself to the mental acuity of Donald Trump. That network decided that the mental acuity of Joe Biden last year is a more important story now.
What network is he talking about? That reminds me when Biden would go, my predecessor, and he wouldn't name my predecessor did X, Y, Z. Some network is really focused on a book. I don't know. But it's true that we have now all just taken as totally assumed an insane component to Trump, and we're not. I've been yelling about that for really since I started the show for years, and I don't think we're ever going to change that. I think it's just the thing now that people embed an assumption that he's going to get to be a little extra crazy, a lot extra crazy. So he has to go like 100 decibels crazy for us to even hear it. Whereas every other politician, just one is a whole controversy. And that's disturbing. I'll leave it there. Share your thoughts in the comments.